Hi. Oh my gosh, sorry, that was so loud. Is it still scary loud? I'm a loud person. Okay. Hi, I'm Vaishali. I'm a senior product marketing manager at Loop, and we are so excited to have you here today. We're going to be in conversation with the one and only Dessi Bell, co-founder of Saint Sofia. If you haven't heard of Loop, we are the leading post-purchase platform for Shopify brands. We've helped over 4,000 brands achieve their ideal post-purchase experience, and our goal is really to turn returns into a profit center. And if you haven't heard of Saint Sofia, first of all, where have you been? Because they're incredible. Founded in 2020 by Dessi and her co-founder, they've grown into a global brand. They've been featured in the likes of Vogue, Stylist, Harper's Bazaar, The Times, and more. So without further ado, we're going to sit down and chat with Dessi. How are you doing today?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's a real pleasure to join Loop at this wonderful event.
I'm so glad you came. We'd love to know how you got into e-commerce and what your journey has been in that.
Well, Saint Sofia is actually my second e-commerce business. My first business I started back in 2011, and it was a sportswear brand called Zagora. I was in investment banking at the time, and my co-founder was in real estate investment. And I had this crazy idea for a legging that can help you work out better. And Malcolm had read a book on how to market to dummies on the internet. And it was when e-commerce was still sort of a niche thing. And we started Zagora. Within 10 weeks, we had 100,000 customers.
Oh my God.
And so we love the, I guess, boundless opportunities that e-commerce could offer, which was, reaching customers all over the world, not having restraints. And we knew that when we were thinking about Saint Sofia, which is our second business, we had to really build a business in a way that can help us limit risk, but also help us scale. Because we knew with our experience with Zagora, if an idea catches on, and if you have something that the customer wants, you need to be able to satisfy that demand really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious then, if you started with a workout brand and it was hugely successful, where did the idea of Saint Sofia then come from, and what made you pivot into what I would call more luxury?
Well, we had I think children are an underestimated management tool in many ways. So after we had our second, we really kind of wanted to reevaluate what kind of business we wanted to build, and what kind of experience we wanted to deliver. And so we looked at I remember walking into a Jimmy Choo store after my second one of how much do I need to pay for these shoes? And so this price inflation in luxury fashion, we thought there must be an opportunity to create a European fashion brand that was fairly priced, sustainably made, but offer that really wonderful luxury experience, both from a creative and a product point of view. So that's how Saint Sofia was born. We were a COVID baby, so we were born in January 2020, which a blessing and a curse in many ways. But I think we did a lot of, before we launched our business, we did a lot of work on optimizing our supply chain, because through our first business experience, we knew we had to be able to be responsive. And that really served us quite well during COVID, because we were able to pivot quite quickly from to the products that people wanted, whether that's stay at home or, Zoom tops or, whatever the demand was. We had wonderful relationships with our factories that enabled us to really scale up demand and really direct it towards things that customers want. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons for us being in e-commerce is you have to be super responsive. And you have to, on the one hand, be able to limit risk, but on the other hand, you have to be able to satisfy demand. And when we think about our business with Saint Sofia, so much of it is built on, of course, technology, but so much of it is built on personal relationships, right? Whether you are, have the right partners on the manufacturing side, the right people in the business. So for us, e-commerce has been a wonderful opportunity, and it needs to really be addressed the right way.
Yeah, and so far you've been an online direct-to-consumer brand. What was the decision there? I mean, I imagine COVID might have played a part in it, but kind of what made you stick to D2C the second time around as well?
So when we think about an offline experience, so D2C is obviously something that we knew. And again, it was really the consideration around being able to work with customers globally, respond to demand globally. So over 50% of our revenue comes from outside the UK. with the biggest market for us being the United States. And of course, we couldn't have done that being a family-owned business, if we had physical presence. At the same time, I think physical retail is becoming increasingly important, especially as people are moving back into, going shopping offline, wanting to connect with, experiences they can remember. And so we are actually in the process of opening our first boutique in Covent Garden. And it really was a journey for us because we really wanted to come up with a concept that we feel would be memorable, that we can really offer a memorable experience to customers that they will come back to again and again. And this is where I think post-purchase comes in to a large extent, right? I mean, they say that once a customer is a trier, but twice a customer is a customer. And so to that extent, the post-purchase experience is essential in terms of helping people, if there is a problem, understand that as a brand, you are there for them, you're there to serve them, you're there to help them. And that's where Loop has been so, instrumental for us.
Yeah, I love to hear that. And you're talking about post-purchase being important and sometimes forgotten. What were some of those earlier challenges, especially being a family brand that scaled to the extent that you have?
I think certainly the return experience was a challenge for us, and managing sort of the flow of returns. But also the biggest lesson we've learned, I think, has been consistency. So when thinking about your offering to the customer, really providing a very consistent experience. And I think as a business owner, we're of course, very creative people. We're keen to create something new and exciting. It's so easy to get bored of your business, but actually the customer doesn't spend every day, in your business. And you really have to be very disciplined about bringing a consistent customer experience, whether that's from a creative point of view or product point of view, a service point of view. In our case, we operate in a very, very competitive market. The customer is demanding more from a quality point of view, from a service point of view, from an experience point of view. And so you have to have the discipline to stay consistent.
Absolutely. And then when you're thinking about post-purchase, when did you finally decide, I can't do this on my own, I need to go to an outside source? What was that decision-making process like for you?
Well, it was really when as our business started growing and as our, volume started growing, we knew that we needed a more seamless experience serving our customers, and in particularly allowing customers to serve themselves post-purchase and not have to wait for a customer care agent to come online and respond to their message and so on. And so we really look at Loop as a profit center, not a cost center, because so many of our customers who come and return something will come and shop with us again because they see that it's easy, simple, we're there for them. If there is a problem with the product, we'll replace it. If they need to change something, we'll work for them. I think in particularly in a competitive space like fashion, it all begins and starts with the customer, and you just have to be, customer's always right. So, that's always been our way of looking at things.
Definitely, which can be hard. Some
it is hard, yes. Customers are very demanding, especially I think the UK woman is very well served, very accustomed to very good service, free returns, and so. But if you want to operate in the space, then you have to serve her in that way.
But so much better dressed than us Americans, so good job, ladies.
I wouldn't say so, but thank you.
Well, you talked a little bit about the store that you're opening, which is so exciting. What else are you looking forward to with Saint Sofia and eCommerce next year?
So we're really keen to create a space where our customers can come, touch our product, meet our team. We can finally create experiences and events for them. We can get to meet them. It's the one thing about operating online is you don't physically get to see who your customer is. So, does she come shopping alone? Does she come shopping with friends? Can we create, a better way for her to shop? Can we educate her about how to wear things for longer? So we're really excited about that. I think offline distribution is something that we will be looking at and scaling very aggressively next year. I think in our e-commerce experience, of course, we are continuing to look at ways to serve our customers, potentially looking at domestic US distribution. So the US market is a fantastic growth opportunity for us. And I think when you get to a reasonable scale, that always, you always need to look at how can I serve my customer better, how can I deliver quicker, how can I make the process more seamless. So those will be the things that we would be looking at.
Yeah, we're so excited.
I'm excited.
I'm curious how you were able to expand globally. What went into that process? Was that intentional on your part? Did you start seeing orders coming in from abroad?
We always had a global outlook, and we were always, so with our first business, 90% of our business was in the US. So we knew that this could be a brilliant market for us. So from day one, we always wanted to be global. We always had 3 stores. We always wanted to serve the US customer. We had localization. So it was very intentional. It didn't happen by mistake, but I think the US market can be a very difficult market to break into for a lot of domestic British brands. I think because it's so well served and because, again, the customer is so demanding. But we seem to have found a niche, and it's a brilliant opportunity for us. So for us, it was very intentional. So between US and Europe, that's over 50% of our business, and we see that as a growing opportunity. I wouldn't be surprised if the US overtakes the UK in the next 12 months.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing a lot of spending differences
Yes.
as the economy is constricting. US customers seem to be shopping more, and so it's a big promise for global brands.
Well, in our case, I think the US consumer has certainly been in a better health than the UK consumer in the last 12 months. We've definitely seen that. She shops more, she returns less, she's loyal, and so we love the US customer.
We love. Okay, before we turn it over to Q&A, I do have some fun rapid fire questions just to get to know you better,
Yeah.
Dessi. So first of all, I would be remiss if I didn't ask, outfit of the day. What are we
Yeah.
wearing?
Well, our Madison shirt and our Bowie jeans. So yes, I do like Saint Sofia. Yes, if you haven't looked at us, please do have a look.
Yeah, okay, cute. Favorite emoji?
I use the poop emoji a lot.
Incredible. Iconic. Best late night snack?
I don't snack late at night.
She's
Yes.
disciplined.
Yes, well, I've turned 40 this year, so I have to watch what I eat.
Okay, fair enough. Favorite brand other than Saint Sofia?
I absolutely adore Cezanne, and I love J. Crew, so
Yes.
they're my 2 go-tos.
Very classy.
Yeah.
And last question, last thing you returned?
I have 2 young kids, so I'm always returning children's clothes. I think that's I think one area where people definitely need to look at the post-purchase experience, because sizing is a mess, and you can never get the right thing. So yes, it will be something to do with my children.
Yeah, and kids are always growing. They
Always
can't
growing.
stop.
Yes, always growing.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Dessi.
Thank you.
I'm going to turn it over to all of you. Are there any questions for Dessi? Hopefully not for me, but you can also ask me any questions.
You guys should all check out Loop. They're amazing.
Thanks. Oh, yes.
Yeah, hi. How have you optimized your returns proposition for the US customer? And if it's worse than the UK, do you think that's impacting your returns rate? Do you think that's actually, bringing it down? And therefore, there's kind of something in that potentially to look at.
So we've experimented with a lot of different things. I think the overall rate of return is lower generally for us, certainly in the US market and in the US market than is it in the UK. We've experimented with, we always offer free returns for exchanges and store credit everywhere. Outside the UK, we've experimented with charging a fee for refunds, and we've tried lots of different levels. We generally find that the US customer, and we've looked at the market, is more open to that than customers in the UK. And it's generally more accepted across the board to have some sort of a refund label fee. So we find that that's also very helpful in terms of retaining customer revenue, so getting more people into store credits or exchanges. But the overall level of returns, from my experience in the US market, is generally lower. Yeah.
Great question. Anyone else? Oh, great.
Hi. You mentioned that you wanted to turn Loop into a profit center rather than a cost. Have you thought about how you can turn your delivery into a profit center as well?
Well, great delivery brings customers back. So that's the way that we look at it. So we are always, we would always choose the better delivery option, the more optimal, the more premium delivery option. We operate in the premium space in the fashion arena, so that's key for us. So yes, fast delivery is essential. Yeah, it costs us a lot more to acquire a customer than to deliver to them. So that's one way we look at it.
We definitely need you to use the mic. So.
Hi there. Right, you've obviously created a very distinctive brand, which conveys this fantastic, affordable luxury proposition that you have. When you, in your marketing, how do you think about the balance of brand and performance, demand generation versus capturing that demand, especially as you look to expand in the US market?
So we look at it from a, I think our marketing is certainly more geared towards performance, but as we have penetrated our audiences, and we have been advertising digitally now for 5 years, which in the UK leads to an element of decreasing incremental reach, brand advertising becomes important. So we have expanded our brand, and we're always looking at the balance between incremental reach, how much should we be spending on brand. So you need to always be feeding the funnel. I think in the US the market is a lot more liquid, so we haven't gotten to that stage yet. We're still getting incremental reach, but I think in the UK we've definitely found. But in many ways, actually, in the delivering brand advertising for us is a more controlled experience in the digital marketing space than pure performance, because we're able to show customers or potential customers the kind of creative we want them to see. And so we find that further down the funnel, they become more loyal customers, those that have seen and been sold on the brand first rather than a product. So in the long run, we have found that to be very profitable. Yeah. Wow.
Is that
Great.
it? Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We will be around if you were too shy to ask a question on the mic and want to come up to any of us and chat. And if you're curious where Loop is, we're just around the corner from Shopify. So come say hi, get some fun water bottles and socks, and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.